All right, welcome back to Fox the Fox Report. This is the pre-match review for Leicester City versus Everton. That is tomorrow at 3 p.m. at the King Power Stadium, my time, Eastern Standard Time. A match where, as it says on the banner, on the thumbnail, only one stays up. So every single match against Everton is not easy. Certainly the first match this season was a big surprise. I did not expect us to go away with 2 goals, not conceding any at Goodison Park, something that we've been done in a long, long time, and played very well. But now we come into this match. Everton know that they need a win. We know that we need a win. I don't think we can afford a draw. And it's going to go either or. Either we increase our chances by a ton with a victory, or we really diminish and we kind of put more than one foot in that tombstone of relegation. So, first off, going into currently how Everton have been doing so far, based on the results that they had before, they have not won an away match since October. And that match was against Southampton. So going into that result, let me go ahead and try and get to that. So if we look here, this was the only match away, I think, all season long since Everton, or for Everton this entire season. Yeah. So they have not won an away match since October 1st, and that was the only away fixture they have won this season. For Everton standards, that's terrible. That's horrible. Now, it's not to say they have lost every single away match. No, they've drawn. But yeah, just to see how low Everton has gone in the past 2 years. Last season, we had a chance to put them even further, lowering their chances of staying safe, but we lost at home at the KP when that match was in our hands. But going into recent results, we saw the last match on Thursday was against Newcastle, 4-1. Now, Newcastle didn't score their last 3 goals until the later couple last minutes of that match at Goodison Park. So what does that say? Everton on a good day will be Everton and perform, to the way you would not expect them to be, depending on how they've been playing in previous matches. But, looking at Crystal Palace, 0-0, something that we haven't done since last season, that's also impressive too. So yeah, there's certainly, there's things that we have to look out for. We obviously, coming into this match, we are in good form. Leicester for life. How's it going, mate? But yeah, it's something that we have to definitely not try and kind of go in too confidently, because that's what we did against Bournemouth. We came too confident and we lost 1-0. And I think they haven't won a match before then. I think, was it 10 matches, 9 matches since for a victory. So going into their recent lineups, from what we see here, they go typically with a 4-3-3. Now, if you saw the match against Crystal Palace or saw the highlights, we see that their right back, Mason Holgate, was suspended. So he didn't play against Newcastle, and then that's why we have Ben Godfrey here. Now he's out of suspension coming into this match at the KP. Will he start? Don't know, but what we know is that right back spot is so accessible for any winger on the left to just outpace anyone, and that's typically Harvey Barnes. So from what we saw against Everton and Newcastle, that left or that right back spot was always being used. Isak, if you saw against in the match against Everton on Thursday, completely took like 4 or 5 players on and did an amazing assist. So, if anything, this match has to be for Harvey Barnes to just use that left side area and just dominate whoever is playing in that right back position, whether it be Ben Godfrey or Mason Holgate. Either way, both players have not been doing very, very well at just defending that area. So, that's one advantage for us and one huge disadvantage for Everton. Now, on the right side, Minkolenko, far better than Ben Godfrey and Mason Holgate, kind of holds his ground well. Tete, he can do some things. Certainly he has to start, and I think he can do some numbers on Mikolenko. I don't think as much as Harvey Barnes can do on Ben Godfrey or Mason Holgate, because like I said, that area, that right back spot for Everton is so weak and so accessible for any winger who has pace, who has skill, and can get right through. Now, from what we know about Kelechi Iheanacho, he's out for a number of weeks. We don't know, depending. It could be, till the end of the season, honestly. But we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, that's a huge blow. He's the player that, holds the ball up top, waits for support, has been a huge, massive help the past two matches against Leeds, against Wolves. And yeah, certainly, he contributed to both goals that he did against Wolves, that he did against Crystal Palace. Against Leeds. But now who starts? Do we go with two strikers, Daka or Vardy, or we just go with one, for both halves, or one half each? That's one thing that, if we go both strikers up top to start with, then certainly one will have to come out second half, last 30 minutes. And, that can kind of diminish our, the attack up top. So that's one thing that we have to do. So if we go in with two strikers, we're going to have to literally get a huge result, get some goals that first half. Like that, we can kind of sit back just a tiny bit in the second. But that's if we go with two up top. Now, I'm not sure what formation to go with if we were to go with that, with two strikers up top. But certainly, we got to have Samore. We need to have either Tielemans or KDH, because Doucouré, Everton's midfielder, is very quick. And one thing for sure is that Dominic Calvert-Lewin will be waiting for those passes. Chester Leicester, if we lose, we need a miracle. However, I think we will get this done. Everton are poor going forward and defensively. Yes, I think so too. We have the players, we have the talent, everything. We know that. But of course, we are Leicester City when we want to be Leicester City. There were numerous times this season where we had matches in our hand to win, but we just drop in confidence. We make one mistake, and it just goes worse from there. Against Bournemouth, I'll say again, against Bournemouth, we had that match to win. We gave it away by giving a foolish pass back with Maddison. So certainly our heads need to be at the right spot, at the right place tomorrow at the KP. Also, Tamari Gray will 100% score if he starts. That's just written in the stars. Maybe. I mean, he has already played against us, with Everton. I don't think he did much though in previous matches against us, but certainly I don't know. Typically, going off previous matches, what we know is that McNeil has been the favorite for Everton's Sean Dyche. He goes with McNeil because that's what he played for Burnley. I don't think he's been going with Demarai Gray as much. He started against Crystal Palace, but didn't start against Newcastle. Will he start against Leicester? We'll see. But for sure, I think McNeil will be playing that left wing position. But yeah, that's pretty much what I can analyze from previous fixtures against Everton in their previous matches. But just going at the table, let me go ahead and just show you guys where we stand right now in this given time. So 29, 28, 30, and 30. So we're pretty much competing with Leeds, with Forest, and obviously Everton. Now, West Ham, not yet. For sure, if we beat Everton, then definitely we'll be competing with them for that 15th place spot. Bournemouth, not yet. So let me go ahead. Actually, I can share that with you guys. My bad. Wait a minute. What am I doing? Why is it not showing? Sorry. All right, perfect. Sorry about that. All right. So yeah, like I said, 28, 29, 30, 30 Leeds. Like I said, we're competing with Leeds, with Forest, with Everton, West Ham, not yet. Bournemouth, not yet. That's not until if we get a victory against Everton. So beat Everton, we go to 30, 32. Then we play Fulham. Now West Ham, going on to their fixtures. Let's see. So they lost against Crystal Palace, which was a huge, huge advantage for us going into tomorrow's fixture. So Everton, West Ham play Man City. So there we go. Other match where Man City obviously have a 99% chance of winning. So if we can beat Everton, then go and then beat Fulham, and that takes us at 35. Surpassing West Ham, but they do have a game in hand. Now Leeds play today against, I think, Southampton, I want to say. Let's just double check. Oh, Bournemouth. So yeah, either a draw or a win for Bournemouth. Leicester for life. Jeff, who you think will go down? Looking at all the teams, Southampton are down. Everything looks shaky, and both Leicester and Forest look better than Leeds. I think, obviously I don't want us to go down, but if I were to pick other teams, it would be Bournemouth. No, sorry, not Bournemouth. It would be Southampton, Everton, and Leeds. That would be the three teams I think are going to go down. Leicester, us, and Forest typically a little bit better than Everton and Leeds, but either way, football is football, and you can't really determine on the players that you have. It's all a matter of scoring goals, and that's something that we have not shown most of the time this season. So we'll have to see what happens, but certainly Leeds are not in good form. I don't know how we didn't get those 3 points over at Ellen Road, but yeah, it's crazy how it's all determined down to this. It's really hard, depending on how we have our players, knowing the players that we have, to go all the way to this very moment to depend on this match against Everton just for safety. When you have players like the players that we have, it's very, very hard to be in the relegation zone at the moment. Very hard. But hopefully we find a way through and we never have to, suffer this type of experience again. Because clearly a lot has just been done wrong. The fact that it took this long for Brendan Rodgers to get sacked, and all these sort of things. So, but yeah, we have to face what we have right now. We have Everton. We go to 32 if we win. Forest, I believe they have Chelsea. I want to say next, or is it? Oh no, Southampton. So yeah, so Southampton are pretty much, if they lose both games, then they're out. These next two matches. Chelsea after that, Arsenal, Crystal Palace. So they have a pretty tough end of the schedule. Nottingham Forest. So Southampton's pretty much their kind of their final say in whether they can come away with 3 points and find safety. But yeah, like I said, we have the better schedule for a team that's fighting in relegation. Let me go ahead to Southampton and see how they are in terms of sorry, let me see, hold up. How they are in terms of the end of the season schedule. So, yep. So they play Newcastle today. I think if they lose, they're done with these next two matches. So if they lose against Newcastle and they lose against Forest, out, I think. Fulham, Brighton, Liverpool, yeah, it doesn't get much easier for Southampton. They're for sure going down. So, yeah. I'll be surprised. They got a draw over at Emirates. So we'll have to see what happens. But frankly, I think that's not going to happen, them performing like that. Certainly, if they can't, well, if this was reversed, Nottingham Forest and Newcastle, then certainly if they could beat Forest, they'll get some motivation. But the fact they're beating Newcastle, who knows how much Newcastle is going to beat them by, that certainly will not motivate them whatsoever to take on Forest away. So yeah, I think just based on how it's looking now, I think Southampton have set their stone in last place. Um, Other than that, yeah, let's take a look and see Wolves. The fact that they lost 6-0 against Brighton. Brighton could not beat Nottingham Forest. I don't know how that happens. Brighton just has to be Brighton, honestly. That would have helped us massively if they could have beaten Forest. Forest would have been at 27, and we would still be out. We would be out of the relegation zone. But yeah, you can't depend on other teams. We have ourselves to depend. But if you ask me, who I want to go down, I want Everton to go down so much. I think they're so overrated. That's who I want to go down, most importantly. But seeing on other teams how they've been doing worse, it's been between, I think, Leeds. Leeds have not been playing well, and thankfully we have not gotten Jesse March. That would have been some huge mistake. And the fact that hearing that some of it had to do because of the way how much he was getting paid, the fact that he didn't want to come to Leicester. I'm happy that we weren't going to offer him that much either way. But yeah, that would have been a massive mistake because right now Leeds are just horrible. The players he brought in not doing well. That's practically USA 2.0. USA the club. He's brought in Weston McKennie. I think I don't know his name. Adams. Anyways, who else? Aaron's. And yeah, typically just bringing in like players that through his eyes are good, but clearly you cannot see that they're not doing well in the Premier League. But other than that, like I said, yeah, that's pretty much what I have for this pre-match review against Everton. We're coming into a very important match. We got a draw against Leeds. We defeated Wolves. No Kelechi Iheanacho. We'll have to see what system we go with. But if you ask me, I'll go with one striker up top. I can't see us going with two strikers and not having a replacement in the second half. We have to have a replacement, but unfortunately, we are left shorthanded with limited amount of strikers. We only have two. If we had Ayoze, that probably would have been a different story. We go with Ayoze in the second half and just go with Doc and Bardi up top, but we don't have Ayoze. So I'd say we go with one up top. Same thing, back four, as it is Christensen, Soyuncu, Fass, and Castagna. Midfield, Samore, but he has to run much more than ever, against Everton because Doucouré is a fast player. And like I said, he will be finding Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who has been making those runs in his previous two fixtures against Newcastle and against Crystal Palace. Blowing goals, West Ham, you're safe, mate. I hope so. You never know with Leicester. We can come in fully confident. Then as soon as that whistle blows, we start playing poorly. Or we give a terrible back pass and they score and we're just dragging down the game where we can't even score a goal. Next thing you know, it ends 1-0 defeat, just like it did against Bournemouth. No matter how many chances we've tried, the ball has not gone in the net. And we cannot depend on that. We cannot lead ourselves to just going down one goal in the first half. We have to go head on, just strong, because that's almost what happened again against Leeds. But thankfully, with Kelechi Iheanacho, with Vardy, Daka coming on, we came away with a draw. But yeah, things could have gotten worse this weekend with Forest beating Brentford, but thankfully Brentford beat Nottingham Forest. I don't think I've ever shouted or celebrated a goal as much for a different side ever than I did yesterday against Brentford with Ivan Toney's free kick, amazing free kick, and then coming away with that second goal to give them the full 3 points. So that was a massive benefit for us, for Brentford defeating Nottingham Forest, because if that were to happen, obviously, as you see here, Nottingham Forest would have gone to 33, 16th place, and if that would just put much more pressure on us coming in tomorrow at Everton, and yeah, that would have been quite nerve-wracking. But blowing bubbles, how did Forest lose, and how to lose, Yeah, it's the Premier League, man. You never know. The same question we asked is how did Southampton draw at Emirates against Arsenal, the mighty Arsenal, which I think their title winning chances are over. I think Man City pretty much are going to win the title again. But yeah, you never know. Sometimes you come in too confident and then you end up losing. I think Brighton, the fact that they led all the way till the end of the FA Cup semifinal to PKs against Man U, came in too confidently against Forest, and next thing you know, they end up, Bournemouth, I think they're pretty much safe. We'll have to see what they, how they go about. They do play Leeds today. We'll have to see. I think if they win, then pretty much, they're safe. But I'd say, right now for us, we need Leeds to go. We need Leeds to struggle. We need Forest struggle, and obviously we need Everton to struggle. West Ham, Bournemouth, that's a matter of seeing how we do tomorrow if we get 3 points. And certainly we want to go much, much higher than West Ham and Bournemouth. But take it game by game. And Bowie, that's what I heard. He's a pretty great, pacey striker. I certainly would be open to having him. We'll have to see what we do in the summer, but certainly the moment the mission right now is to stay safe. Certainly, once we're safe, then all the right things come falling into place. That's what the summer transfer window. We have to do obviously a revamp of our squad and see who needs to stay, who needs to leave. But certainly, right now, the sole purpose of our focus right now is to stay safe. That's something that we need. We don't need a keeper. That you don't need a keeper. You do need a keeper. We don't need a keeper. I wouldn't be opposed to the option of perhaps getting in a keeper to obviously compete for that starting role. But certainly, I don't think Danny Ward should stay with us anymore. I think he needs to go somewhere else and bring on someone else to compete with Everson. Maybe that's what Everson needs, but certainly based on the previous matches with Everson starting compared to how Ward has been starting at the start of the season, obviously much better in my opinion. So I think we need another keeper to come and compete with Everson. I don't think Ward is that person to compete with Everson, because Everson by far is much better than Ward. Ward championship level, maybe. He has been doing well with Wales, but Wales isn't in the Premier League, and Wales typically, I can't say that he can do the same, or if that means he's just in the wrong side. We had his chance. We gave him chances and didn't really improve or impress. Ndidi has been terrible lately. Ndidi has been off the grid for a long time now. Some matches he's good, other matches he's doing terrible. We'll have to see. Whoever wins is safe, in my opinion. We'll just have to see. Because wait, did I show you Everton's schedule? Let me see. Let me just show you guys Everton really quickly. And let's say they win. Let's say they win tomorrow. Then they have Brighton the following Monday. Then they have Man City, Wolves, Bournemouth. So not the worst schedule. Kind of goes half and half with Everton. So they play us, then they play Brighton away. Man City, I think Brighton's not going to let them obviously, fly by that easy. I think Brighton's certainly going to try to win that match, and they have been in good form. So I without a doubt, I think they'll win that match. Man City obviously will go ahead and just destroy them. Wolves, on a good day, Wolves will be Wolves and hopefully win. The final day, Everton, Bournemouth. I hope we don't depend on our final day against West Ham. That will be horrible for us, because certainly the pressure is on. We have so many matches on the final day where obviously it didn't depend on staying safe or not, but it depended on going to Champions League the following season. We had Man U, We lost, but we were coming really, really in bad form. What was really just nerve-wracking was against Tottenham, the final match day, because if we were to win that match, we would have gone straight to Champions League. But we ended up scoring first. Then we just kind of diminished from there and ended up losing, I think, 4-2. Yeah, it was such a terrible, horrible, end of the season. On that final day. So hopefully, like I said, we do not depend on the championship Sunday to, see whether we're safe or not. Hopefully that happens within the next 2 to 3 games. I think if we beat Everton, we beat Fulham. I think we are for sure safe. And then just get a draw against Newcastle or Liverpool. I think we're safe. So going forward, if we were to get 7 points in the next 4 matches, then we're safe, in my opinion. Let's see. So Madison is leaving in the summer, apparently. Yes, I think so. Depending whether we're safe or not, I think he will leave. Certainly, I want him to stay. We'll have to see. You need Tavernier if Madison goes. He's been brilliant in Bournemouth this year. Yeah, I think there are a lot of players. Honestly, I have not been looking. I've mostly been worried about us being safe. I probably will start doing that if in fact, we are safe before Championship Sunday. Certainly, start looking. And I think we could get a point versus Liverpool. Yeah, we'll have to see. Let me just go ahead to our schedule and take a look at what we have. I think, I know it's Everton, and I know it's Fulham, and I think it's Newcastle, Liverpool after that, or Liverpool, Newcastle. Okay, yeah. So let me just go ahead and show you guys that. So yes, so Everton tomorrow. After that, it's Fulham, then it's Liverpool, Newcastle, and then West Ham. So if we can win both matches, get 6 points, get a draw in either or. I mean, we could even beat Liverpool. If we beat Fulham and Everton, I think we have a much, much higher confidence going into that match against Liverpool and coming away with 3 points. But either or, if we get a draw in either one of these games and win our next 2 games, then we're safe. Yeah, but we'll have to see what happens. That's also depending on if Everton lose, if Leeds lose, if Forest lose. And yeah, I still don't think West Ham are safe. And Chelsea are just safe. Yeah, no, I know, right? Like, it's crazy how Chelsea just are staying in that 30 point mark. Let me see. Let me go to West Ham and see what do you guys have lined up for the rest of the season. Let me see. So you guys got Man City on Wednesday, Man U, Brentford, Leeds, and then us. I mean, on a good day, West Ham are good. On a good day, West Ham will be West Ham and win. On a bad day, you guys will lose, but you never know what West Ham will show up. But yeah, those are the first 2. Man U's not been that. You could possibly win that. That is at home. Man U hasn't been that great. They drew against Tottenham, that have been playing poorly. So you never know. And they're also missing some players. So that I wouldn't write off the Man U match as a loss. Man City, that's a different story. Brentford, same thing. We never know what West Ham will show up, what kind of West Ham will show up, and could get away with a positive result. Leeds, that could definitely be a big win opportunity to get 3 points. But other than that, you guys are at 34 points. If you can get a single point out of this, 35 can beat Brentford, 38, or get a draw, 36, 39, certainly getting I want to say if you get 4 to 5 points out of your next 4 matches, then certainly you guys will be safe. So yeah, so if you can get 4 out of 5 in your next 4 matches, then certainly you guys are safe. And if you think he'll stay up and Forest will go down, I can't see Leeds going down for some reason. I can though. I think Forest will stay. I think Forest will stay, and Leeds and Everton will go down, along with Southampton. Brentford only just beat Forest. Yes, but I think teams have been just underestimating Forest. I think they can beat Forest, but they've underestimated them so late on in the game that it's sometimes too late to come back. Like Brighton, like they overestimated Forest, and next thing you know, it was too late to come back, and that's why they lost. If Bowen can maintain his form and Edward stays solid, we will stay up. Yeah, Bowen was a massive, massive striker last season or the previous season before that, where he was scoring almost in every single match. Fast player, but I don't know what happened. Just kind of fell off. But no, he's still a good player on a good day. But yeah, like I said, hopefully it does not fall down to that last match against us where it depends whether we're safe or not. I certainly do not want this to be a match where it goes down to who wins stays, because that I think that pressure will not do well for us. But other than that, that's pretty much what I have for this pre-match review against Everton. And like I said, it's going to be a very, very determining match whether our chances are far more greater to stay in the Premier League next season, or they just diminish very, 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 very far to relegation. We'll have to see. But if you enjoy the stream, want to watch, or if you're new to the stream and want to watch more Leicester City content, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time for tomorrow. Well, yeah, tomorrow after the match, I'll do a post-match review. So stay tuned for that. Also, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and the other social platforms as well, like Facebook. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.